Okay, everyone. I don't feel like typing anymore. That's official. So now I will start just talking, and I hope everybody can hear me just fine. If not, please let me know. Then maybe I'll be able to adjust that a little bit and make sure that everybody hears me. But I guess we gonna have the main window open pretty soon. It's good to hear me fine. That is nice. Okie dokie. Well, I guess without further ado. Let's switch to the main window, guys. Here we go. At the moment, what I'm having open is my A sprite because I was thinking maybe to do some pixel art. And then again, choices. I'm a little on the fence. Should I work on Poseidon, give him legs or a tail? I think legs, but I'm not sure. Probably legs because he will be on land when he meets Gaia for the first time, most likely. Might have a level filling up with water so he can have a tail then, because he obviously would be able to have a fish tail, right? Thank you. And I'm on the fence. Like I could be Poseidon. I could continue working on the cheese store that I have here. I don't really enjoy the little woman here inside. It's not bad, but it's also definitely not perfect. Still has some work to do. The top here is not done. There's a lot of things that we need to do on this one, and then of course there's the old one that we had for a long time ago. This is one of my biggest pieces that I've been working on, the Rijksmuseum, which still obviously needs some stuff. And I have to look again because I switched laptops since that time. I have to look again for that building drawing so I can put it on the background. So it's a little easier to make this Rijksmuseum actually look like the Rijksmuseum again. Because yeah, that was what I was aiming for. And I think I was on the right track. And since then, I've changed what I do with my windows to make them more transparent. So this is I drew the shine of the window, and as you can see in the well, not in cheese store actually. I have to open the bakery for that. Where the heck are you? Always have to look for that stuff. In the wrong one, am I not? Yes, I am. Wrong project. I have to look in the assets of this project here in the art and the levels, and then Amsterdam should have the bakery A spread. There we go. No, yeah, that's the bakery. Indeed. And this bakery has the transparent windows the way I like it. And to know why I want that, if you're here for the first time, like Deck, because you have your first time chat, so I figure you've been not watching before. So to show you what it looks like in the game, I go to the game. There you go. And you will be able to see that, well, of course, this has no background. It's not really done yet and everything, but um, I have a baker, that's this fellow here, and he's just basically standing behind the window. So the bakery is consisting of the bakery itself and a background. And that background, if I turn that off, then you would be able to see straight through that. But then you see also the background, right? You see the clouds straight through the bakery, which we don't want. So what we did is we put a background layer here behind it. So this thing is closed. You don't see completely through the bakery, but you can see anything that's between the background and the foreground. So my baker here is in a layer that's exactly in between. And because of that, I can easily make smaller animations go inside my buildings, which makes for a little bit more flexibility of what I want to do, because I do want to have a little bit of fun with it. I do not think that I should be animating the entire building with everything inside it, because that's going to be very time consuming. So that's why I figured if I go for transparency, that with transparency, I can actually go and do some simple things like move things behind it. So it's more alive, right? And that's what I'm aiming for. I want this everything to be feeling very alive. My bakery is my pride and joy so far. That's I think by far the best piece that I have so far. And yeah, of course, I want to get more stuff done. That's why I was working on a cheese store that fits with this, and the Rijksmuseum, which is going to be the biggest piece that I have so far. Um, but as you can see, I was working on it, but it's a while ago, and there's some stuff that is still missing. and I haven't continued it. And kind of that is feeling like bad. I should continue this piece because it's one of the biggest pieces that I will have. It will be probably further in the background, so you basically will see it small. So probably like something like this. And you might say, like, why the heck are you making such a big canvas then? Well, because I want this detail to actually be there. Yo, 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 Incredibro. Thank you for coming in. I am happy to have you again. I missed you last stream. Sorry about that, but I guess you were working on another game jam, right? Because I was also doing a game jam last week and the week before, actually. But I figured I will not be able to finish, unfortunately. As much as I would love to, I will not be able to do that. So, unfortunately, I had to let it go and just keep going on my own game. Did learn a lot, though, by the way. And for those of you who didn't see what I created there, let me open that project for a second. It's not so much. I was basically working on getting something decent going there. And I had some audio controls because I was doing the Access Reset Game Jam, which is basically a game jam for making games that are accessible to everyone. So there's also a judge panel that is consisting of different disabilities. There's blind people in there, people with physical disabilities, and everything in between. So I found that pretty cool, and I was working on that, and I'm very proud of my little dragon, so I want to show her off a little bit. Um, you will be able to see it. I will zoom in here because otherwise you will not be able to see the animation. So nice. So basically, it was one of my first animations, and I made a dragon animation, just idle flapping the wings. Pretty, pretty cool, I would say. I'm happy with this. It's not perfect, but hey, come on. I did my best, and I'm still happy that I made it. And I learned how to make it look pretty convincing without changing too much, right? So, but this is also 32 bits, so easier than what I'm making in Gaia, because in Gaia everything is 64 bits. So people are telling me, please, please, please go to 32 bits. It's way too much work. It will take forever. I know it will take forever. I'm very much aware of this. I'm very much aware of this. I've been feeling that problem since a long time. And so that's also why I do every now and then, like I did last month, I do a sponsored stream where I play a game and you guys can help me just by playing the game. A few of you did. And I'm supposed to get in March $250 for that. So that was pretty cool. Still not enough because if I'm going to hire somebody for doing some pixel art, basically $250 gets me maybe one building or something. Add fire to the tail, and you have Charizard. Charizard, yeah. I'm not really into the Pokemon too much. I mean, my nephew will probably kill me if he hears me say that, but I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan in the world. I like it every now and then, but I at least know that Charizard is from Pokemon, so I guess I got that part down. But beyond that, I'm not really the greatest fan, and you probably could say that um, it's not so nice that um, I talked about Pokemon because I don't know shit about it. Anyway, I should save this because I moved something. So, and I was contemplating: should I go for working on this guy? Should I go working on this guy, or should I go working again on the Rijksmuseum, which is huge and which I will probably have to layer up again because now it's not in separate layers anymore. I had this file since a long time when I was working on my last laptop, which was too slow to do anything with. Um, and on this new laptop, I cannot find the ASprite file for that. So I guess I forgot to copy it, which is a shame because, of course, the other one has been wiped. And now I don't have it. And I don't like that. But, I've gotten faster since then. So maybe I can do this and put layers for it, take some stuff out and make it better. Because at least all the windows probably they will need to go and become separate layers if I want to do this. because then I can put the transparency of that, and people will be able to walk about behind it and stuff like that. Hey, Letterborn, that is so long ago. Uh, I don't care if it's been long ago either, though. I'm happy that you're here. How's it going with uni? I saw some very positive things, I think, on Twitter. I think you were doing very good. And if I'm mistaken, please, sorry about that. But I think I saw some very good grades coming by. So, yeah. And incredible. I've been meaning to ask because a while ago, I think 2 or 3 streams ago, somebody redeemed me to sing a song. And at that time, I wasn't doing so well. So I didn't do anything with it. Thank you for following the Blackbird NL, by the way. You're not talking yet, so maybe you're just following for fun. But anyway, hi and thank you for that. I really enjoy having people follow, and hopefully we will get more and more. It's always nice. Past everything. Woohoo! 100%. Letterborn. There you go. That's it. That is awesome. I can only say that. That's awesome. So, what do you guys think? Should I continue with the museum, the cheese store, or should I give Poseidon some legs? What do you guys think? Because he needs to have something like a piece of cloth on and some legs, and then he could be sort of like done. Um, but yeah, um, I always wonder when somebody follows and doesn't talk yet. I always wonder who that person is. Maybe I know this person already. I don't know. That always blows my mind. You're following, and I do not know who you are. But it's nice that you're following. I always appreciate anyone who does. There's one that I follow is called the Captain Coder, and if he gets a new follower, he will sing to those people in their he will sing their name to them. But I don't think that's a great idea if I do that. First of all, it's not original if I do that now, and second of all, eh, I I already get redeems for singing songs, and I think that's good enough, right? Because you guys have had me singing some quite interesting songs. Twitch wouldn't let me log in from PC as he decided to go for pixel art. Nice. Well, I haven't decided anything yet, to be honest. I'm thinking I could go for pixel art, and yeah, I showed my last project, and welcome back, by the way, Deck. And incredible, you don't remember if you redeemed the song. Okay, check your points. You should know by then. Anyway, I kind of think I want Poseidon to have legs, but that's because I was quite happy with the way he was progressing until I had no time again for more than a week. So I hope I'm not going to go exactly like in the cheese store where I went, and that woman, I don't really think she's looking so great. But yeah, I mean, that's how you go sometimes, right? You start on something, you start to change it, and then you think, that is not exactly what I had in mind. So I hope if I go for his legs that he will still look like a good looking guy. I want him to look good. I mean, that's the goal. So yeah, let's see. What do you guys think? Should I? Okay, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Should I work on Poseidon, the cheese store, or the Rijksmuseum? Speak now. So Poseidon, cheese store, Rijksmuseum. Poseidon, cheese store, Rijksmuseum. Biggest piece, medium piece, smaller piece. Okay, we have conflict here. Round one, fight. I have a Poseidon vote and I have a museum vote so far. I think Incredibro is very much happy with the museum. But for the museum, let me first at least have a look, because if I can still find the drawing, yeah, I think I do. think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that I found. Yeah, we'll have to put as a reference layer on the background. I don't mind either thing. I'm working myself and I only have one screen. Ah, so power up. Just sat beside him because you were talking about wanting to make legs. Well, I think that's gonna be one of the harder parts. That's basically. I'm also kind of fearful for making him legs because, you know, he looks so nice now. I really like his style with his blue beard that really looks like yeah, he could look very cool with a fish. I think he will have both because if he's gonna be one of the bosses, right? And if he's gonna fight Gaia, he probably will do it on land unless Gaia will learn to go underwater without needing to breathe. I'm still not fully convinced yet about if he's going to have a tail or legs, or maybe he's going to have both. So when you meet him first, he will have legs, and then he will do something and fill up the entire level with water, and then he gets a tail. Could be, no? Too, but only because I love mer people. Yeah, and I'm just not sure yet what to do with it. So maybe the Rijksmuseum is the safer bet. And nice animation transition with particles. Yeah, that could definitely work. And I was thinking maybe for that to happen, when he zoomed out, you see him with his legs. He lifts his staff, but then he rams it to the floor, and then everything will get to water, and he transforms and gets a tail. That could be absolutely amazing to do. Not sure, by the way, if that Discord link is still actual. If not, let me know. If it doesn't work, I will give you guys a new one. Maybe I should just do that anyway, because those damn links always keep changing, and I don't really like that. But I always say that it should never expire, and then for whatever reason, it doesn't never expire. So I don't know if you guys have any experience with that, but it doesn't really work the way I want it to. Anyway, this one for sure doesn't expire, so at least for now. So it should be at least active this entire chat. So if you want to join the Discord and you're not there yet, go ahead, click that link, and be welcome on our server. We're a friendly bunch. You can share your own art if you want to. You can share your own project. Um, talk to me because I cannot stream much more than once a week usually. So I can look at Discord most of the days. So then I can usually answer any questions you might have, as long as I actually know an answer. Because I don't always know the answer either. I'm just a person. So I'm thinking Rijksmuseum might be indeed a good idea. So let me get that drawing that I had before. Let me save it. Save it. Let's go and put that. Give me a second, you guys. I'm just going to put it there where it's supposed to be. Put it there. Now, reference layer, layer new reference layer file. There we go. That means again, I will have to do transparency for this layer, but I always have to do a little bit to see it. So just in case you have no idea what we're looking at, let's do a different. I will just turn off the layer that we were working on, and that's the original building the drawing building, the drawing of the building from 18 something, I think. Let's see where it was from. I keep forgetting when they had that image. Doesn't say. Anyway, it's a construction drawing. So this construction drawing is pretty damn old, I can tell you. But it's original. So that's what the building looked like, and that's what I tried to make with my own design here. I'm a little out, I'm not exactly on the same place, but I've also tried to not have that curve in the bottom. For me, I wanted to have straight. So there's this difference here. But the windows are more or less all on the same space. They have the same kind of curves that are in the curve in here. So if you look at this part, you see those curved windows. Now look at mine. It's the same things. Wouldn't Photoshop make your workflow faster for making pixel art? I actually don't think it would, but maybe. I haven't really thought about it. I've been using Sprite because Sprite is really made for making pixel art. Pixel art can obviously be made in Photoshop, but I've found it a little tedious sometimes, and it doesn't really work the way I want to most of the time. Because you also have to change your settings to make sure it can work with pixel art. I've tried before, but I wasn't really feeling comfortable in it. Although Photoshop I do like, but obviously I also don't have an official version of Photoshop. And, I am making an official game as a company, so if I use anything, I'd have to pay for it. So I'd have to buy Photoshop, and that in this case would mean a subscription to Photoshop, and that is not exactly for free. You guys can sponsor me if you want, but beyond that, I don't think I can afford it. So let me see, because didn't see if I positioned everything based on this drawing yet. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to make things official because I cannot release anything that I make in a product that is not officially mine, right? Cannot just release stuff that is illegal. So, but let me first, I guess, start working on the windows again because it's not that hard. I can actually make a new layer and just copy all those things over. The things that will make the ones hardest are these because these take a lot of work. I have a color range. Yeah, you can do the color range. I can probably do the just select this color and then have everything ready. That might be the easiest option to do this. And then just cut it out so that all these ones that do not have the shine in it yet, like, will actually have the window inside another layer. And I'm gonna have to work a little bit on these kind of things. As you can see, I was toggling around with my what do you the transparency a little bit, and when you work on the transparency, you forget to put it back. Then sometimes your lines are not the same color. As you can see here, there's difference, and those differences are not what you want to have. So I'm gonna have to fix that too. I'm gonna have to make some depth in the entire building, like we do here. So take some parts that are not perfect. Those kind of things are gonna be the ones that we want to change. So we get the same kind of transparency stuff as here. We will have very small figures that can walk inside the Rijksmuseum, so you may be able to see something. I think so, at least. But it might be so far in the distance that we cannot see that there's anybody in there. So it's hard to know if I'm going to be able to do that. So yeah, I think the museum might be actually a good idea to start working on. So let's call this the building. Let's put in a new layer for the windows and start removing all those things. Mm. Okay, I guess what I'm gonna do first is basically just remove all the entrance here and take all these things out. It will take a while, but then I can put them actually from the main building into the windows and put the correct color with transparency in it, so that when we export it, we will also see the transparency in the windows. Might not be the most important part for most people, but I find it important that my style is consistent in between those different um, buildings that we're making. You're thinking, what the heck is that? Why does it get so brown? Obviously, that's the building drawing that's behind it. And I'm sure I could probably do it faster. Like many things. Like I say to everyone, I'm learning as I go along. So there's things that I do wrong. There's things that I probably could do much better, and I don't, you know. But that's also how you see that anyone can do this. You just have to be persistent. Did I do that there? But yeah, you know, it's been a while since I've been working on this museum, and it was about time, I guess. I always did like the piece. It's huge, but because it's so huge, it has a ton of detail when I'm done with it, and that I do like. I will have photos of the Rijksmuseum that I actually will look at, obviously, to get some detailing in and some shadows and some feeling of being more depth, like it has depth in the building, because otherwise it will be again another flat building. We don't want it to look flat. We want it to have some depth. You go ahead and lurk, Incredibro, and making a first-person player right now. Wow. You're gonna have to keep me updated on that one. Maybe one day I will be able to show your game again in India appreciation stream. Next week I already have two games lined up, so you're gonna be able to see two very nice looking games that I think will be very interesting for you guys to see. So make sure you tune in next week because you don't want to miss it. Makers of those games are actually already very far along. One of them is about to release, as far as I know, at least as a demo release. I've been seeing the development on that live. That was very amazing. So I'm sure you guys will like that as well. And the other one, to say from the top of my head, I don't know, but I have it listed somewhere. But both of them look incredible. That's what I do know. I know. Yeah, I already know again. But they're quite different again. The one there's the one that I will show second next week is a game that actually will be going live the day after, or the day 2 days after, or one day after. But the embargo for showing the game will be lifted a few days before it, so they will have some people probably showing some footage, and I will be one of the few that actually streaming it live. So I think that's pretty cool. I've always been enjoying pixel art since I started making it because it really is soothing, very calming. And I must say, I've been having a pretty rough time lately and starting to self doubt again a lot. Feel that my self worth is not good. Uh, I know I shouldn't. I mean, I've had talks with psychologists, very many of them in the past when I was a few years younger, got out of it, but something like that can creep back in. Not because you want to, it just happens. And then you think that you're sucky and everything you do is terrible. Everybody else is better. There's no way you will ever be able to do stuff that you're trying to do. Why would anybody want this? That kind of feelings. You keep talking to yourself saying that whatever you're making is crap. Yeah, really destructive. I know that. Uh, there's this huge gap between knowing that something is not good and actually being able to do something about it. If you feel like that, you feel like that. I have one of those quotes here, I think, that comes by every now and then. Like, we know it's Monday and it's hard. Everybody hates Monday. Well, many people do, but try to make something nice out of it and think good things will come. Um, I firmly believe that. And I think good things will come. But yeah, you have those moments and you just feel like you're the worst and everything goes wrong around you, which also doesn't help. Um, Financial issues, those kind of things, everything can really start eating at you, even though you don't want to have any of those problems. You're just a person, and persons have those kind of feelings. I recently watched a video from Thomas Brush that he sent to all the people who follow him or follow a course of him that says that even after 15 years, he's been doing this for 15 years, this game development, he has those moments still plenty of times, self-doubt, thinking, whatever am I going to do? Why people would want to play my game? This could be solved in like 100 million ways. What good is being depressed going to do? Nothing. Everybody knows it. I know it. I mean, I know it doesn't help, but people who get depressed usually don't have much of a choice. You just get it. I'm really fighting to not get there, which is hard. But I'm having a new project, and that new project is also pretty hard. And then there's those moments where you really think uh, everything is basically falling around you. Everything is tumbling over, and it can really be hard to keep yourself from talking bad about everything that's happening. Obviously, I know, and everybody who has this probably knows deep in their heart, it's not going to help. It's not going to make anything better if I think like that. That doesn't mean you can stop thinking like that, unfortunately. So it is sometimes what it is. We'll get through it though. Don't worry. That's why I have you guys here, right? A little pick me up. Working on game development always helps. I feel better. Can do stuff that I enjoy. Gotta shrug it off. Yes, that is also true. And as much as you know it, sometimes that can also be really tough to do. Everybody knows that there's no reason to be depressed till you feel it. I don't feel like I'm depressed, but there's a very thin line between being depressed and feeling bad. As Frankie said, that's life. That's life. Well, that's life, guys. I think you mean Frank Sinatra, right? Just to be sure, Incredibro, because for someone who's lurking, you're the most active in the chat so far. I guess most people come in my chat basically to lurk, which is fine. I mean, it happens. You don't have to constantly talk. I do like it though. Some people think that they will distract me too much. But no, that's so nice. Incredible, bro. Thank you. I mean, I don't like to see myself sad either, to be completely honest. Uh, but yeah, I have had very rough moments lately. Uh, yeah, it's not something anybody wants. It's just something that happens. Today also was not the greatest day at work, so yeah, it all adds up. There's that breaking point where like, oh, now I don't want to have more of that shit. I'd like to chat a bit more, but I'm working. Luckily, I work from home, so I can still watch and learn. Yeah, that's fine. I'm very happy you're at least here. I mean, you gotta remind me though, because we must have talked a lot, because I talked to I think so many people on that day, those days, because I'm I'm somebody who wanted to go to Unite for so long. I saw a chance, I went, and the sessions that they had on Unite were okay, but what I really found the most amazing part of Unite was really all the people I met. The people I met, the things that we talked about, projects that I saw from other people, uh, all the talent that basically was present that day was so much. And the funniest thing that I had during the time, because of course I was there the entire day talking to so many people. I talked to people from um, who are makers of a terrain building tool. You know what it's called? Make a guess. I actually own that terrain building tool. Exactly, Gaia. Because that terrain building tool, they were showing it off one day on a stream from Unity, I think. And I was in that stream watching it. And Procedural Worlds are the makers of that. And I was watching that and then chatting live with the makers. And I said, that's cool. I really think this is an amazing product. And you know what? It's even cooler. My daughter is called Gaia. And it didn't take long, like a few minutes before somebody actually saw that. And the one who saw that was one of the creators. And he responded by sending me a DM saying, could you give me some details of your personal account? What? Personal account? What do you want to know? Email address. Okay. I sent him an email address and he sent me an offer for $1 I could get Gaia. And that product is quite a lot more expensive, so that was just symbolic. I bought it for $1, so I still have it. But I don't make a lot of 3D games, so I haven't been really using that tool too much. But I could still use it. I still have the rights to it. So yeah, pretty cool. Really cool tool to have. Doo-doo-doo. Really, there's not much better than creating pixel art for just doing stuff that gets your mind off of stuff. Basically, all you have to do is put pixels or take away pixels, depending on what you're doing. Like me now, I'm taking away everything because, yeah, I want to create them in a separate layer. It's simple work. You can do it while talking. And while talking is always nice because people can respond to that, or they can just think like, yeah, very nice. Just maybe find the voice soothing and have it on in the background so they can feel better or feel nice. Because I always also want people who visit my stream to feel nice. I'm the kind of guy who, I don't know, I put others above me, usually. I know that's not good. That's been one of my bad things in the past. I take care of a lot of people, but taking care of me is harder. Just prefer, I guess, to be helpful to others and being helpful to myself because that's easier. You don't have to think about your own problems. You think about the ones from another and just fix it. Then you have to do it for yourself, and suddenly it's harder, you know? I guess everybody's busy today, which is fine, you guys. I mean, as long as you're here, I'm happy. But if you want to talk and you have the time, go ahead. You're not distracting me. I don't care. Just have to look at a different screen and I can respond. Really wondering about this, the Blackbird NL. Who gave me a follow. Hasn't said a word. That's very unusual. You just follow somebody without saying something. Well, maybe it's a colleague. Never know. Could be somebody who's on my Instagram or on LinkedIn or I don't know. Whoever it is, welcoming. I hope you're still there. I don't know. My Prime sub goes to you this month. Oh, that is super nice. Thank you so much for that subscription. That is really, thank you. I appreciate that because every subscription helps for me a lot because it's just adding money to the channel. I'm really going to need it because, as you can tell, I need a lot of work here, and I need more pixel art. I need to hire people because otherwise it will take me forever to make this. I can do it all myself, but it's very slow, and I know that I'm still not allowed to say it by you guys, but I still have to say it. Real pixel artists are much faster in what they do. So if I ask somebody like Outsider Pixel, who's following me for a long time already, if I would ask him, or there's a Brazilian guy who's been uh, talking to me like he wants to do it for me, but yeah, not for free, which I could not ask him either. But yeah, it's quite costly, and frankly, if I would have them make on that inspo. What do you mean with inspo? You mean oh, you mean based on that drawing, or and as for Incredibro, the work on the prototype, it has been slow, as you can tell. I've been working also on making game jam games, so it wasn't a lot of progress lately. I must admit that I took one bit too much. It looks like those windows use a rather separate color set from the rest. What about color selecting and deleting everything in selection? Yeah. I need to. I wanted it to actually be based on the actual building. Yeah, color select I will do for the other ones, but this one has a you know a little shine to it, and I had that in separate layers before. But now all I need is this part, and that I can color select. You'd be able to just do that, right? Let me, it doesn't for whatever reason want to do that. Do it like that. But yeah, if I'm making something like, for example, this museum that is an actual building, obviously, and if I'm making an actual museum, I better have the correct look. I want it to be really like it should be, uh, just to make it authentic. And yeah, it's not perfect, but as long as it looks a lot like it, then I'm okay with that. It should be like everybody who looks at this and ever went to the Netherlands, went to the museum, they would be able to recognize it. And I see somebody new is in the server on Discord. Requiem. Requiem. That's always nice. New people. I like new people. Magic wand select tool or something. Yeah, it's not a magic wand. It's select tool is like here, select color range, and you can select it. But there's not a really magic wand in here. At least not that I know. I'm. That would be you. Welcome, welcome, Dak. Welcome. Now you should really say something in the Discord about how we met and when we met, and what we talked about, because I'm sure you remember. It's a little harder for me because I'm now basically put on the spot here. It's a bit harder now, but one day I will remember. I know that for sure. Okay, so let me go to my bakery. Is this there? One. Oh, the, the color range here is one. Go for it because it has transparency to it. I copy that color and I do it here. See? Yeah, I like that you can do that between files. That is really very nice. Now, all I need to do is fill that up. Those windows will become transparent. Yay. Funny that for one stream to the other, sometimes you hear like everything when somebody does something like a raid or somebody who's following or somebody who's donating or somebody who's subscribing. And now I hear nothing. So it's good that you told me that because I had no clue that you just subscribed with Prime. Thank you though for that. I'm proud that you used it on me. And again, I guess there must be an easier way to do this, uh, but the joy of hard work, yeah. Sometimes you don't hear anything. It's really, maybe because I turned some of the audio down. Let me check it because I turned the audio for, well, maybe I don't hear any audio, could also be. But I turned that down a lot, turn it up a little bit. But yeah, then somebody new should follow or subscribe. Otherwise, I still don't know. That's the thing. I could say I might have fixed it, but I have no clue. Could very well be that I still will not hear anything when somebody follows or subscribes. Maybe just old age. Hey, thank you, Incredibro. Now go ahead and lurk, because you're not being very nice now. Aren't you supposed to be lurking? Pretty sure he said he was lurking. Wasn't he? Wasn't he lurking, guys? I think between you and uh, Half Moon, you guys have probably been redeeming me singing the most. But yeah, you probably also have the most points, so that's the easier way. But you do know that next time you say redeem song, which is fine, tell me also what you want me to sing. Of course, I'd have to look it up, but uh, otherwise it's going to be a bit tough. And I have to think of a song myself again. One that came to mind lately was because I was singing it in the car. Just Breathe by Pearl Jam, because I think that song is absolutely amazing. But I will probably be completely raping it, so it might not be the greatest idea. And again, fucking rape Tenacious D's tributes. Why not that one? I've been, by the way, listening to a lot of Tenacious D recently in the car, and Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park. And today also Disturbed, which I really like. But it, if you, yeah, exactly. I actually sang tributes on stream. Dak did. That was one of the songs. Might have to look up my stream that I did. That yeah, it's gonna be a while ago. I don't know if it's somewhere easy to find, but um, on my YouTube, I saved most of the streams at least. I must have missed one or two every now and then, but um, I think it should be still there somewhere. Well, you also missed me singing a Dutch song, Tulpen uit Amsterdam. Missed me saying I'm Still Standing by Elton John. Uh, Missed me singing, oh yeah, the sea shanty. That's that famous song, The Wellerman. But yeah, that's the people who have 2,500 points. They can redeem a song. So and they can select which one. The other day, there was a guy in my stream who I've also been watching myself a few times. He's German and he wanted me to sing something of Rammstein. So he said he will gather points so he can redeem a song of Rammstein. Sure, that's going to be a very good sound. Me singing German. I can't speak German, but singing in German might be a little bit different. I think Letterborn, you're also German, right? Or am I wrong? My memory seems to say that you are. I've only 1.9K points. I wonder where I used it. Yeah, me too. Must have been on Redeem a Song 3 weeks ago then, maybe. And I told you you should remember that. You forgot. So, but you could always just pretend that you did redeem it. You suddenly remember. I think Half Moon now has like 17,000 points or something still. but he's not here, I think. Half moon could really ruin me. That would be something. It could make my life really hard. That's what you like to clip, also, right? When I'm singing. I think the other day they were clipping me singing Tulpen uit Amsterdam. He could literally overtake the stream. Yeah, he could make me sing like for many minutes. Okay, that's the left side, basically. This floor. Oh yeah, and visit my Kofi page. So I also have a feeling that I actually should post some updates there because I usually don't because nobody's following me. Well, almost nobody. Yeah, it's not gonna bring me anything if nobody follows me anyway. It's it's just literally not doing anything. That's the thing with being a solo developer. You have to do so much marketing also. So you set up your Kofi page, you set up a Instagram page, you set up everything, and then nobody follows those things. And then you're like, okay, my main thing still is Twitter, aka the thing that I shall not mention. But there is really going very well. My my Twitter account has literally 1,640 or something followers, which a lot of people are like, how on earth do you get so many? I think, I guess because I'm being a nice guy to people. Do follow Friday. I do Trailer Tuesday. I do Wishlist Wednesday and all those kind of nice things so people can actually show their game also. Because I know a lot of developers who are solo developers. I should never promote another one's game because why on earth would I do that? That takes attention away from my game. True, it does. But by showing other people's game, you also make them interested in you. Basically, how it works. So, yeah, it does help. A lot of people like you for doing that, and it means that a lot of other indie developers are following me. I also find that interesting. I follow many of them back, so I can see what they're working on. Gives you also inspiration, what you can do for your own game. I mean, for me, it's a win-win. I really think that's for me a a no-brainer. Just help other people. That's also why I do the indie appreciation streams. It helps two ways, right? First, it shows that you're willing to see other games and show them. They bring their audience sometimes, you know. They bring people who haven't ever seen you stream before. They don't know what you're making. You can tell a little bit about what you're making. And from there, they might stay. And if they don't, then they don't. But at least they watched me once, you know. You know, I just realized I should probably have already had this color selected, then do a little selection before of the other one and fill it up with my new color because and the other layer because now I'm gonna have to somehow fill up those empty arches here. Bro, I can do it with making a square and just being behind it. It doesn't really matter because the rest you don't see anyway. So I guess that's the easier way. If I want to just make it that part, then it might be a bit tough. It's really satisfying to do this stuff, you know. It's really, you don't have to think much. You just to do this and then just make your selection, fill it up again. The only thing is that, especially in the beginning, I used to select the wrong tool many times. So instead of just drawing dots or pixels, what I would do is draw on the wrong layer, or I would fill up the entire thing because I used G for filling up the entire thing. And then, yeah, you get startled. You have to Control Z everything again. You're like, shit, that was not what I wanted to do. And I think I don't know about here, but in Photoshop, for example, there would be a way to just select this, then also select that, then select that, and select that, and I'll fill it all up. Maybe I can do it like this. Let me check. No, I was hoping that would work. I can only select one at the same time. That would have been very helpful, just selecting all four and then just fill it once. But Incredibro, I can only believe that it must have been you who redeemed the song. So if you want to still make me sing, I will allow you. I will allow, but only because I really like you. Very long process to put all these windows, and then after that I will fix the colors in the walls so they look all the same again, because not exactly the intention that they have like different shades inside. From there we can later work on details, but better have the base correct. But I've shown some people who work on a lot of pixel art sing some Frank Sinatra. Which one do you want me to sing from Frank Sinatra? Did It My Way or another one? That's live? Let me see. I will have to look up the lyrics because I don't want to do anything wrong with the lyrics of a Frank Sinatra song. And I guess you're going to be sitting ready to clip that, right? Okay, let me see. That's live. I'm wondering if I rhythm. Let me hear it for a second. That's not my most familiar song. I know the song, but I don't know the entire rhythm. Let's go for I Did It My Way then, because then the lyrics are a little easier. Um, Still, you don't want to make a mistake with a Frank Sinatra song, right? One day find a karaoke version, right? So you actually have some music, otherwise it's just me singing without any music, right? Can I find that maybe? Let's see. Frank. After, do you guys hear it when I play YouTube? Just a second, it's quiet now. Do you hear this? That's not right. Let's see if you guys hear that. I guess not. Well, if you don't, then it makes it easier for me, I guess, to sing. So, karaoke version. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I travel each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried. I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that. And may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my Yes, it was my. There you go. There you go. Incredible, bro. If it wasn't 1:30 a.m. here, I'd definitely love to play piano and you could sing over it. Well, I seriously hope I didn't scare everyone away because I'm sure it wasn't great, but I did my best. There you go. Incredible. You've earned it. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a very nice song to sing. It's pretty empowering, I would say, because yeah, no matter what you do it your own way, right? Exactly what we're doing here. No matter how tough it can be sometimes, we're doing it our way. We're doing it our way. I forget sometimes how late it is for you every time, and now I can go in a corner and cry. Oh my God, I hope you didn't have to cry for me butchering Frank Sinatra, because that was probably the reason that you're going to have to cry. Did somebody clip that stuff, by the way? You clipped it? Or or is still the response to me butchering the song? You're clipping it. Oh, usually something that people find nice when they're giving you a shout out so they can show the clip. Still have to figure out how to do that, by the way, because I can do the shout outs now. So I think it works also for you guys. If you want to, you can do exclamation mark SO and then the name of somebody you want to shout out. It's all fine. It's all allowed as far as I remember. I didn't set it closed for anyone. If you have somebody that you feel who are in the chat that needs to be shouted out, then by all means, go ahead and do it. It's good that I am revisiting this Rijksmuseum piece because it's huge and it really needs some work. I was kind of proud of it already because, you know, I don't think there's much pixel art of the Rijksmuseum. I found one, but it was very, very small. I don't want to blow up a small piece to make it huge. And when I found this building drawing, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to use this because that basically makes everything 10 times better. If I have the original drawing, there's no way I can make a piece that doesn't look like it. So once I, there you go, dainty dragon fruity boy. Whoa, that's a long name. He did it his way. Yes. Very nice. Thank you for making it a clip. So many windows. What was I thinking making this museum? Oh, really, I think next time just do the music on the background. Select the window from top and paste it in bottom. Oh, you mean to make all the windows? Yeah, for parts that will work, but I don't want to do that for the entire thing. Because I'm gonna do that for this part, for example. I'm gonna just fill this up, but making sure that I don't do it twice for the other part, because that will just not work. But look, this is what happens, you know. The transparency is, well, okay, this has to go behind, but still. I'm not gonna want to do that for all the windows. Because what if I have something else on top of that again? It will just become a mess. At least, I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. That's how it feels to me. Wouldn't be surprising if I was being just dumb. You get to see me do dumb things, you know, that's also worth something. Not everybody is the perfect one who knows everything. You know, the first time I did pixel art, I didn't even know which tool to use and how to do it. So I've already grown quite a quite a bit, and I've learned how to do gradients and stuff like that. And yeah, but I'm still needing to learn how to do shading in HSprite because for whatever reason that is not so easy. I see some people do it and they just select a color and then just shade inside it easily, and I'm like, holy crap! We're not gonna time out credit, bro. What is that? What did you say, Mister? Just to figure out. No time. No time for you. Definitely not. Welcome. I don't know what you did, but you were apparently very enthusiastic or something incredible. Nobody times out my incredible. What I could do though, that probably is a smart thing. Yes, you're back. Too many emoticons or something. Easier. I do learn. I don't want to have every part of this area with window things, just in case I open something up. It should be really only the area of the windows. Like almost every stream, somebody has to become enthusiastic enough to get themselves blocked for a few minutes, right? Don't know how you guys do it, but it's really happening often. Get so enthusiastic, you scream, or I don't know, use all caps. Hey, just see me. Uh, I must say, I have kind of given up on trying to make a game for that Access Reset Game Jam. It was taking a lot of time, and otherwise, I would not be having much time to work on Gaia. You wrote you. Oh, you are being uh-oh, silly. Why am I being silly now? Jeez. You write it different. You would say Simmy, and that's just Simmy who just came in. Welcome in, just Simmy. Nice to have you around again. Did they get them all? Yes, except for these ones. do that also. Oh, because they're still filled in, right? I'm still stressing with our mini game too. I've only done minimal animation. Yeah, yeah. I like making a game for accessibility, but that's the main goal of my game Gaia. I did learn a few things for sure, but then I figured let's continue working on my main game then, because otherwise we'll already be taking a lot of time. Because pixel art, you know it, just to me, it takes a lot of time to make it right, and I'm already not the fastest one, but that's also why I want to hire people to basically incorporate my style, so I can go a little faster because I know exactly what I want. I know, at least look wise. It has to really have a certain style. The City of Steve TV, there you go. Welcome, welcome. My first subscriber, and now followed by Deck98. Your style is easy to replicate. Thank you. I think. um, but yeah, it's important that it's easy to replicate. That's why I want to have a specific sort of style. And the only thing that might make it hard for people to keep going with this style is that everything is 64 bits. That's why this canvas is enormous. It is humongous. It's the biggest one I've had. Um, but it is such a recognizable building from the Netherlands that um, it is. Let me see. Let me show you. Because when I zoom out, you might recognize it. It's the Rijksmuseum from the Netherlands. And I can understand that you would say Amsterdam Central Station, because Amsterdam Central Station has a look that is quite similar um, to the Rijksmuseum. But the Rijksmuseum is huge, and they found the original drawing of this museum is from 18 something, as far as I remember, but I cannot find it now on the. It's Hogwarts. Next game I make will have to be now Harry Potter, and I make Hogwarts the castle. Can just look at how the Lego thing did it. I mean, if Lego has a Hogwarts, then it should have a building plan for that. Just follow that, and I have Hogwarts in pixel art. That would be cool. I know a lot of people would say probably, "What on earth are you making all these windows transparent for? You're not going to have anybody walking behind everything." This city is the low poly character I made yesterday can now walk. Cool. I work in Procreate for my art, and now I used Dreams for the first time. Dreams, was that not? That was the program that was on the PlayStation or something, right? Or am I wrong? I kind of remember it being there. And Procreate, I heard many other people also about. It's supposed to be very practical. But yeah, I mean, I have a program that I'm using, so yeah, I'm not gonna basically Procreate Dreams. I have to look it up now because now I cannot stand that I do not know which one it is. Procreate Dreams. Procreate Dreams. Oh, okay. So it has the animation built in right there, right? Everything you need to create rich 2D animations, expressive videos, and breathtaking stories. Okay, sounds cool. What I've been finding most of the time um, is that basically I'm too slow for making this kind of art, but yeah, I'm doing it anyway because I'm stubborn. My first animation in there is horrible. Well, I mean, I saw some things that you were creating for the game jam, and I was thinking like, wow, that already looks amazing. So, not so sure if you're correct in saying that it's horrible. Okay, so we have this first part looking pretty okay now. I already find it funny when you zoom out. Sometimes it looks like these lines are like going everywhere. You know how that goes sometimes. And I might not have this really transparent here. I'm not sure yet. But let's figure it out later as we go, because this is really a very nice window structure. I really like that. I was kind of proud of that. That was a ton of work to get all these windows to look right, because there's so many. But yeah, I'm using the original building drawing to at least have some idea of where it's supposed to be. And as you can tell, I'm a little off. So I made it wider than it actually is, I guess. But the look of the tower, for example, it's pretty okay. It's not perfect, but it's recognizable. Send it to you, time to laugh. You send it to me on Discord. Yeah, I know, Incredibro. I know. I'm very guilty of not prototyping the way I'm supposed to be prototyping. I'm going to do that soon enough. But I also like working on the pixel art, you know. I guess anybody who makes games will probably know. It's sometimes very nice to do that. Yeah, that's cute. I like it, just Simmy. It's funny, but also nice funny. Near the bathroom, she were taking a break. It was me with two other young guys and another friend we met there. All four of us were from Italy. Ah, okay. Now I know who you are. You were doing with Gaia and how it was named after your daughter, which we all agreed was so sweet. A little bit about me. I work as a freelance mobile and game developer while I dream of producing games full time. Right, I remember we had a really nice chat. Yeah, sorry. This is meant for Deck, by the way. Deck was saying he met me at Unite this last year, and indeed it was the moment we were at that time that we met. We were sitting. I was sitting on a sofa, I think, afterwards, and all four of you guys were close to me, and we started to talk, and it was really a very nice and interesting talk about what you guys were doing and my scenes on sketches. Yeah, I mean, prototyping is fun, and we're gonna have to do more of it. Um, I you know, if you would see my project that I had before it all turned to mush, basically, you would see that I had a level where I was prototyping, and that level was getting there, and then because everything broke, I kind of was like, eh, and I had to build everything anew, which I did, but it kind of hurt. And then you basically, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I basically went a little nuts with that, and I just wanted to keep working on art and stuff like that. I was not happy with the bakery as it was at that time. I have a few steps in that. Um, exactly. Otherwise, sometimes you also have to throw a few things or add few things and mix again and again. Yeah, I mean, I know, I know. You know, you don't have to tell me that I'm doing this wrong. I should prototype this with blocks. And if you look on my YouTube, you might be able to find it still. One of my first things that I did was just something with triangles and blocks and stuff like that. And it was totally not working yet with anything that has sound in it. It was just a little square, I think, or I don't know, capsule that just went through a level and yeah, picked up a key, opened a door that way. That was it. And yeah, I need to do that one of these days, creating the entire level that I have in my mind. but just not visually appealing at all, and then start creating the art that I need for it. I know mine is a visual novel, so it's really important to just have sketches. Yes, and I need to do drawing more as well, which is something that I haven't done enough lately. Lately, last drawing that I really had was 1994, you guys. That's how old I am. Some of you might not even have been born by then. But 1994, I was creating some drawings, a lot of drawings actually. That's my most productive area time when I was making drawings. In 1994, I created so many. You're from 1993, Incredibro? That means you were 1 year. Oh my God, oh, so cute. And Jessimi was only 4. Nice. The city is also 93. Look, look, now you guys are showing how old I am. It's okay, I can take it. It's okay. But I feel old. Anyway, that's really funny. You guys, you crack me up sometimes. Here we go. Now we can start to fill this up again, making the color. Somehow you see still sometimes difference. Okay, so that works. Need to fill up this building and make it proper. That color difference is not nice. In 1998, we're still waiting in queue. But you were also with an older guy, right? Who's also making a lot of games mobile, I think. Deck. You do realize you're back to when you started from visually. I am. I do not think I'm back because I'm the oldest of my team. Oh my God. Now I feel really old. I'm not back to where I was. Incredible. I'm fixing some color mistakes, basically. You can see the. I don't know if you can see that in this screen, but it was too light some places. Yeah, I was with other Italian guy I met there who works for Triple Dot, I think. Yeah, I think he also he's now on my LinkedIn profile. Pretty sure of that. He was also very interested. We had super cool conversations. I really appreciated all of those. That is really not only good to know and to see that people are actually interested in what you're saying you want to make, but it also helps see the creativity of others, and that inspires me a lot. I mean, I found it really cool to see how much talent was there. I talked to a woman from Argentina who had a VR game that they were showing there. She was alone also, but she was not working on that alone, but she was just there alone. So, and your team is 10 years younger, just see me. Oh my goodness. 1990, so they're from 2000. Oh my freaking lord. They're just 24. Oh, I feel so old now. But it's really nice to see all that talent, and really, if I could do it all over again, I probably would have started much earlier doing this kind of stuff, because that is really sometimes what is bothering me. If I would have started so much earlier, I could have been so much further along the line and so much further with doing things. Obviously, I might not have had a daughter by then, so that would be different. But yeah, I mean, I would probably have made like a ton of other games already. Okay, so I'd have to. Can I move that reference layer a little bit because it's a little too low? Agreed. I think I tried when I was 16, but because I couldn't understand how extruding could break a model in Blender, yeah, I gave up back then. Agreed. I think everyone thinks the same way. Yeah, I don't know if everybody thinks the same way, but I mean, there we go. We can actually place it more or less where we want it. From there, we can start to put some details in this building. You know, go like all the way here. More, a little next to it, but I don't care. And also, I still have to make these arches down here. Those are gonna suck to make, I think. Let me put it where I put it before, because that's how I built the windows and stuff like that. The middle one should be in line there. From there, I can start maybe cutting out those arches because those are see-through. You should be able to go through those things. And then there's these really intricate ones, and that one, those ones up here. And I have to make this roof because I don't have that yet, and these little extrusions because they're part of the thing in the depth. That gives it depth. Because if I put some, it doesn't even have to have detail. Basically, it has to be there. That's it. I think it also might need to be scaled a little. I think it's just too big or too small actually. Hmm. I don't know. I think I did it before exactly on the windows, but might have moved it for whatever reason. Um, so I'm gonna just have to be creative, I guess, like all the time. I'm actually stoked, with Dak also subscribing with his with his Prime. It means I now have 2 subscribers. I've never had 2 subscribers to my stream. I'm so incredibly happy with Decidius and Dak. Is it the letter D that makes you guys subscribe? Because you both have a name that starts with D. I don't know. Just joking around here. But okay, let's. What if I just put the reference layer on top instead of being? Yeah. Main building should not be that transparent, otherwise I can see shit. One of the rare times I'm absolutely stoked to come into in second. Yeah, I'm super happy about it. I mean, it means a lot to me, and people don't realize sometimes what it can mean to somebody if you subscribe to their channel, because yeah, it's not something I can ask for everyone to just do that. It's if it costs you money, then for people it's sometimes too much of a thing to ask them to do that. You really have it like this just to have that detail. I know. Oh my God, that angel is gonna be tough. Well, that's part of the main building also. Turn off the layer. I want to see exactly how for whatever reason, my roof is too low. This should be there, but then would be really there on this roof. But yeah, I don't know how, but I kind of got out of whack too much. My roof is more or less what I wanted there. Yeah, okay. Maybe I should stop being so detailed now. We're gonna have a lot of fun making all these things here. But I don't know why I make this block here. Is that in the drawing? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, so that has this block and has on top of that two statues. And this is where I went wrong last time. And you're probably already seeing the problem that I had there. If I now choose the color and start drawing, it's going to be transparent instead of going to be meany, but don't go too detailed. Now, it's not mean. It's probably just looking out for me. So I think I'm more happy that you're saying that than finding you mean. But I want this building later to be better detailed. You got way more things you got to do. True, true, true. Let's first go for the easier parts, like taking out these window areas and the areas for where these statues are going to get. I want to finish the last section of the low poly course I'm working with. See you another time. Thank you again for being here. The city was always it's always nice to have you around. It's always nice to have all of you around. Actually, you are all super. And do you ever stream? By the way, the city is. I've never shouted you out, so that's a bit weird. I need to do that. You sometimes too. Hello actually did the following. We published the game and then after we changed things, made things better. The graphics. Okay. So you already published it and it wasn't the way you actually wanted it to be yet. That is something that I have to keep in my mind because I kind of come from software development and when in software development I don't feel comfortable releasing anything when I'm not completely 100% behind it. But that would have to mean that I'm doing that anyway, right? I would be releasing something that's not completely done. Have a deadline for it. So we just went with that. Yeah, you gotta just release it. Makes sense. Makes sense. In a way, at least. Stop tweaking around. Stop tweaking with those little details, Max. You gotta stop doing that. But at least it has to line up. I would. I always want it to line up because otherwise it's gonna bite me in the ass later, right? But it doesn't line up at all anymore. So it's a bit too wide. This is as close as I will get. Like not, but I already recognized it, which means you have the details already. True. And it's good to hear because you didn't know what I was making, so that is nice. And I'm happy you were telling me that because that helps me a lot to know that people already recognize the building that I'm making. So the window frames, I guess, for this one I can start making to make where this is gonna go, and then from the details later. But more or less where this will go, and the areas for this where they can all be later. It's hard because perfectionist and everything. That 100 is too much. I cannot see anything that way. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I'm gonna be whistling Frank Sinatra for the rest of my time, I'm sure. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I'm doing dumb. I'm not gonna do dumb. Mm, But yeah, I'm easily falling into the trap of going too perfect in the beginning. But perfectionist software developer and stuff like that, so kind of hard to let go. In my mind, basically everything has to be perfect. And then later I find out I shouldn't. Messenger, I could go all in and change it, make it better, but we have a deadline in a few days, so nope. True. Totally understand. I totally understand. That doesn't mean it makes it easier for me to actually give up my craving for having details. What the hell? I did select all of you guys. There, somewhere in the middle. No, not in the middle, because that one is also not in the middle. There you go. You know that there's actually a function in music making software to make your music more imperfect so it sounds human. Yeah, I know. I made this to my eyes horrible piece of music, still released it, and it's my most listened song. You guys are making all very good points, and I feel seriously bad now that I'm not that kind of guy. I have so much trouble letting go. It's not that I want to be dumb and just do these things that I probably shouldn't be doing. It's just sometimes it's the mistakes which make us great. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, true, true. Definitely. Now you guys are all pretty damn great anyway, so probably will all change color later. I just need to block out these things so I know that there's going to be a clock here and there's going to be statues in here. It's so horrible, but I found it in a YouTube video one time. Somebody actually used it. That is cool. That is very cool. Well, I had that um, a while ago, and I was absolutely surprised. Somebody asked me if they could use my bakery on their phone as a background. I mean, I know my bakery is pretty okay. I'm pretty cool with that. I like how my bakery turned out, especially with the help of Incredibro, who's been awesome with creating some small things that I would never have been able to do myself. But yeah, I mean, to have somebody ask you, can you please put your logo on that thing so I can put it on my phone and at least know that it was yours? For me, that was like, what? You want me to do what now? I have never heard that before. So I was pretty stoked when I heard it. Something like that. Nah, that's terrible. Has to go here, but I will have to figure this out later. Just search my name on platforms. I will do that one day. So here we will have a line again. I guess that line goes now from here to there. That this should be more or less the middle. I have to have the middle for this. Crap, I forgot about it. We need to someday get back to sound designing and prototyping. Yes, for sure, Incredibro. But I also understand you're pretty busy, so I was not pushing anything because, yeah, I know how it can be to be that busy. I have the same problem. I'm incredibly busy sometimes. Yeah, not nice, by the way. It's not something anyone would want to be, most likely, to be that busy. But yeah, it happens to all of us, right? Yeah, to, I want to later make like curves and that. Yeah, like I said, later. You guys proud of me? I will do it later. You can post links. You can post links, you see me. I am not somebody who makes problems out of people using links. That is all fine. In my chat, you can do it. You can just post it really here. I just had a shitty day today. Fine. Okay. There we go. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's the song, right? Just to me has 2 listeners per month, more than I have. You really were ready. That's for sure. Like plunk there. I have it under under the copy paste button. This sort of okay. Okay, I'm not trying to be very perfectionistic here, but that has to move like there, because otherwise I will feel terrible. I mean, I'm fine with it not being perfect, but it has to be in the same place. If it has to be in the middle, it should be in the middle. Otherwise, I'm getting a little nuts with myself. Okay, so there's some details already coming here. That's nice. The only thing I want to do here is for detailing is make sure that there's like an outline ready, um, where we're actually gonna have them, right? So, so make sure that I do it properly. I have to move everything a little bit. It was a great day. I told you I teach right. So I have this class that I teach, which has been a bit troublesome. And we do this work for about 3.5 hours a week. So just to prepare them for the next school. Okay. I have to be careful with playing music while I'm streaming because it can actually be a problem for the stream to play any music. Not too low. Like also not widen. We believed it went right, as we decided to dedicate our times to them fully. We set rules, we uphold them, it went well. And now, after like 8 weeks, we suddenly hear we're doing a horrible job, apparently, out of the blue. No heads up, nothing. Ouch. People don't realize what they do when they go like that, right? Saying that you're doing horrible or whatever. It really, it isn't fair to people who are helping others learn something. I really don't think so, at least. No, it's 8 weeks, yeah. That's when you're thinking to yourself, like, why am I even doing this, right? You're thinking, like, I don't deserve this, but you're getting it anyway. Pretty good. I should be able to do that like this, right? Basically, just steps of two. At least then I know that everything is the same. Oop, wood. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand how that feels. I must say now, I haven't listened yet to your music, but I have the link open, so I can do that later without any issue at all. So here should be some bells. Yeah, I don't want to draw them now, but I don't think so. Yeah, here also need to be some points on there. You can listen to it on stream, it's copyright free. I don't know if you guys would hear it anyway, because I don't have a audio source for listening to um, Spotify. I don't even know it. I don't have Spotify on here. No, I don't. I don't have Spotify on my computer anymore. I do have a login. I'm able to use it. Nope, doesn't know it. Hmm. I wonder how I logged in last time. I don't know. I don't have that at hand. Yeah, I know. I had Helio and Adventures of Helio. Adventure of Helio. I always have to remember it was Adventure or Adventures. SoundCloud. Yeah, now that's an easy link. It's also YouTube, but it sucks on there. Yeah, YouTube kind of compresses it, right? Makes it a little bit less nice to hear. So this will also be fun to create, but it's okay. We got it. We will have it later. What else do we have here? SoundCloud. That I can play, I think. The Untitled playlist. There you go. Cozy Space Mix. Santorin. Bones Design. I think I listened to that before. Volume a little down. I guess that's still right street now. Incredible. It's not like I'm now having a problem. Okay, what am I doing? I'm doing this. I'm gonna create this block here as well. Red color, yes. Goes in with my most listened to. Oh, I'm listening to Incredible music right now. Middle, no, of course not. Again, I learned from you guys. I will not try to make it perfect, okay? Just try to make it good enough to have something that's resembling what I'm trying to recreate. Okay? So, it's a little harder when everything's just shifted. That makes it, yeah, yeah, gonna be okay. Personal, personal first stint. And it's always fun to see your own personal preferences and then see what others think is nice. That is always the kicker for me, that you might think that whatever you're making, you like that the most. That was perfect. That's where everything came together. And then somebody else listened to it. No, I don't like that one. I like this one much better. And they're like, fuck, so weird. Why are people different? Sometimes also with the pixel art you create, and somebody's like, "Oh, but that was beautiful art." I'm like, "Really? I think that was really one of my worst." No, it was so good. And it's like, huh? It really sometimes it doesn't click. Like, why did I like that one? I didn't feel that that one was good. You like it more than the other ones. Hmm. Wow. That's why I love graphics. I think what she is talking about is uh, a certain song that she likes better. The synthesizer of the. Not 100% sure. They seem to have liked another song better than she did. It's always tough, lost in translation if you're just seeing a chat. But that's definitely not good. It's one of her tracks. I think so. Yeah. 12. There's where you go wrong. There. That's not being you silly and credit, bro. Everybody can make that mistake. That's when you're in a chat and somebody just says something and you're not 100% sure, and then you make a mistake. It happens. What are those pixels there? There were two pixels floating in midair. Hmm. I had that with this teacher because always on top of the class we have time left. Something that extra assignments. Now I hear I'm doing a horrible job. Like what? What am I supposed to do? Apparently, we still don't know how though. What exactly? But I'm definitely disappointed in not hearing it sooner. Obviously, I mean it's the same as me. I'm working a full-time job as a Azure developer or Azure consultant. And if you ever have a client who doesn't say anything or doesn't say that anything's wrong, and then suddenly you get complaints at your own company, like you're not doing it correctly, doesn't happen often. I had it once in my life, but yeah, it really doesn't feel right. Then talk to me, tell me that I'm doing something wrong. I might be able to adjust it, but I cannot adjust a thing if you're not talking to me. Communication is a really hard thing, especially in those kind of areas. Continue on that later. So. Totally out of whack here, but doesn't matter. Gonna fix it later. Uh, Talk to after class always every single week. I stay for another 30 minutes. That's the work time. That's incredibly nice of you. Yeah, I don't think you have even have to do that. So yeah, I would definitely say you're going already out of your way um, to help, and then people don't appreciate it or don't show that they appreciate it. That's not very nice. That's what I would say is something I don't know, unappreciated. I don't like when people don't show their appreciation for something that you're doing for them, basically, because that's what you do. You do it for them. You don't do it for yourself. You do it because you want to help them. And then they don't yeah, appreciate you. I can imagine for people that really hurts. Just like how it went. We did at least. And now I need to go back there and I'm excited. Because freelance music teacher, teaching is cool. I'm quitting is yeah, I'm a freelance teacher too. I'm not a teacher. My parents were teachers. I gotta tell you, once you see what comes at you being a teacher, I didn't want to be a teacher. I might want to become a teacher later. Um, at a certain point in the career, it might not be so much fun anymore to go to different clients and see what they want and how you can help them. But so far, I'm still pretty happy and pretty stoked going to clients a lot of times and just seeing what they need and how I can help them improve on their process because that really is very interesting if you ask me. Lost interest in teaching due to lack of pay. Yeah, that is definitely also a problem with a lot of schools. They're not paying enough. And they complain that they cannot find enough teachers. Then you should first fix your problems. Like make sure that you offer them what they should earn. Teachers deserve to get paid properly as well. Ask me if I want to do my education there, my training. Well, I'm reconsidering it. I get paid 15 an hour. That is not much. Teachers are so important to get our society where we want it to go. Especially if you think about that, then they really should start to pay teachers more. Euro. Just give me is Dutch, just like me. So yeah, we get paid in euro. The euro is that bad at this current moment? I thought euros was usually stronger than the dollar was. Maybe I'm wrong. I keep track of how the dollars are doing compared to uh, euros. Not at the moment anymore. I'll just erase stuff here. That was a bit too much. Okay. Again, I should listen to you guys for advice and not make it too perfect. I do want it to be not perfect, but at least decent. Something I would actually have. Sorry for being again stubborn, you guys. You know, it's me. It's just those openings I want to have them look sort of like what they actually look 1,300 Indian rupees, 170. Yeah, I guess like only 1 day a week for 3 hours, not paid. Yeah, I mean, I think we can be quite sure about it that teaching is still a job that doesn't get paid very well, no matter where you are in the world. I think it's very, very bad that they don't appreciate teachers as they should. Like I said, I think uh, education is the pillar stone of any society. So if you do education well, your society should grow, right? But if you do education bad, I'll do the math. You will get a society of all not very nicely educated individuals. 3 hours, 6 days a week for 3 hours probably. I love it because in the end of the day, if a kid comes to me and thanks me, then I'm happy. 1 day a week. Talking about myself, we have it pretty bad here in India. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that in India it's even harder than here. We've been talking about this a little bit. Incredible and me were talking about him looking for another job, basically because teaching really doesn't pay as it should. Um, so he was trying to also get into learning uh, programming or web development even because it pays better. I think it doesn't even have to be that way. I think basically what's the problem is that it doesn't teach good enough to doesn't pay good enough to teach in India. It doesn't mean that if you, I mean, you don't have to actually teach to an Indian class. You could teach to any online class really and get paid better because they don't have to know that you're teaching from India. That doesn't fill up stomachs. I make 100 euros a month and that pays my bills too. I got no other job at the moment. Yeah, I mean, it's sad to hear that people have to work for such a low wage. I mean, I have to be honest, I work in IT and IT gets paid pretty well. You guys all know that probably. Like people in IT, especially consultants, get paid pretty good. And I work as an Azure consultant, so I go to my customers uh, and I help them get better in the cloud. That's basically what I do. I'm Azure consultancy. I got discriminated in IT. That is not nice because you're a woman. Sometimes ashamed of colleagues because really people can be absolute a-holes, not just in IT, by the way, but in all sorts of fields. It's surprising to me how people keep getting away with that because being an a-hole should always be punished. I'm educated in IT. Yes, I studied web development, programming, and IT in general, making computers and such. Yeah, in the 5 years I tried to get work, never got one. That really sucks, and I'm sorry to hear that. That you don't deserve that. So if you're good, you're good. I mean, I even am trying uh, at the place where I'm working to get more people, more women actually working also for our company because yeah, there's a ton of guys doing our work, but not a lot of women. And yeah, it would be nice to also have some women that gets a different dynamic also to the customer. And yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Finding them is almost as hard as actually being a woman, I guess. Because yeah, of course there are some, and then there's a hard time finding the ones that actually want to do the work. Because yeah, let's face it, if you get treated like crap by other male colleagues, why on earth would you want to work there, right? I understand you wouldn't. If I change my pronoun, will you hire me, Max? Oh, incredible. I would hire you in a heartbeat. I would hire just Simi as well in a heartbeat, but it's not up to me. I wish it was. For Dragon Spirit Games, maybe one day, if I can pay you guys. But for that, I need a little bit more subscribers than just two, or maybe people donating and whatnot. Maybe a successful Kickstarter campaign when I get to it. But then I might be able to actually hire people. There's already somebody from my work who saw my Dragon Spirit Games page on LinkedIn, and he was saying like, "Yeah, I saw that it said on LinkedIn maybe they're looking for people." Like, oh my god, I wish I could pay that. I had one time a job in web dev for a month because I was told to clean the office and do the dishes. Okay, that is absolutely horrible and horrifying and a very, very poor representation of IT because I know there's also good jobs in IT, but you just need to find them. And I don't know what your expertise is, just Simi. I mean, if you're, for example, a C# programmer or somebody who is good at making front end designs using Angular and whatnot, then you might even want to contact my company. So because they want women in IT because they don't have enough. I don't. I think I think I can safely say that the company I work for is a little different than most. We're a little bit more open to stuff like that. And we already also see that there is not enough women right now working in IT. So we even have an event, Women in IT. It was last month. I think we organized it. So it was an event just for the women in IT. It was full of women at our office. And I think we need more women in IT to keep the man grounded, basically, because men in IT can be absolute jerks, especially against women when they're not in IT, but also when they are in IT, they just talk trash about them without the woman being there to defend themselves or being able to say something about it. And I really think it's horrible. I really do. The more women in IT, the more men will have to behave and basically be better guys. Because I know there's plenty of men who can be good, they just don't show it. That's the thing. That's there in any field. True, true, but in IT, even worse. And I think what just Simi also means is that they don't take women seriously most of the time. And I think that's wrong. Because why would you not take them seriously? It's like the same thing as saying that women cannot drive. That's bullshit. There's men who cannot program. There's also women who outprogram circles around them. So I did front end design, prototyping, work with Figma as well as Adobe XD on the UI stuff. I was hired for it all. Did PHP, CSS, HTML, WordPress. Yeah, we're in the Microsoft area. So all we do basically is we do a lot of front end development as well. Uh, but that usually is more like you program in Angular and stuff like that. But yeah, we also need HTML, CSS, but the current versions, of course. I'm a little behind with that because I don't do that anymore at the moment. I'm more Azure consultant, so we go in depth with various Azure related things. So it can be very big sometimes. You could imagine teachers would be different, and I've seen male teachers treating female teachers rudely. Yep, might have missed a few words here and there. Yeah, I mean, in every field it happens that people are complete jerks. I mean, that's not strange, yeah, but it's just not very nice sometimes to see that um, people get treated like that. It's not something I would ever like. Too much a fan of people. I like women as much as I like men, and I don't care who I have in front of me. If you do the job, you do the job, right? If I apply, first question we sometimes get is, "You got kids? Will become pregnant." Well, that is understandable in a way, though. I mean, I'm in the OR for the company I work with, and one of the biggest things that we had to face uh, changing in costs the last couple of years is that people have way longer pregnancy leave now than they had before, and it just not doesn't always just apply to women, but also to men. They now get longer vacation periods just because their kid is has been born. But no, we I actually am trying to get a woman to join our company, and she's good. She's gotten through the process, and she had to pull out herself. And then I was like, "What happened?" And I learned later because it was also a friend of mine. Um, the men. I learned later that she was pregnant. Like, okay. And she chose herself. Like, okay, I really want to work there, but let's not do it yet because then I immediately will have to take pregnancy leave when I start working there. So I don't want it, but they expect it, so I get denied. Yeah, that's horrible. People should not deny you just for maybe having kids in the end. You might never have them, you know. It's not like you will. It's like you might have them, and if you will have them, then it might be a problem. But especially if there is no reason to indicate that it will happen very soon, then why the heck are they making an issue out of it? I had to quit because my school didn't give enough pregnancy leaves. Okay. Yeah, I mean, in the Netherlands now, I think for women, I don't even know how long you get free when you just get a baby. Pretty long, I think. But it shouldn't matter really. It's not important how many days free you get for that. It, at least in my opinion. I'm not, of course, the authority on that, but why on earth would it matter? I mean, you're not pregnant yet. You might not even have plans to get pregnant yet. So what on earth are they on about denying you a job that you might really want? You don't even have a boyfriend. Yeah, it kind of gets hard. Well, you could do artificial insemination, but yeah, like what on earth is going through their heads to just deny somebody because they might get pregnant? That is something seriously wrong in the business. But uh, all I can tell you that at the company I work for, they they really do not do the selection like that. Maybe it's also because main part of our recruitment program is women, so they also look different. I asked for a month and got denied. Happened to my wife, by the way. Yeah, I mean, it's so old fashioned. I'm gonna have to take off the screen. By the green screen, everyone. I hope all goes well. Yeah, I mean, thank you again, AZ, for being there. You're always our most one of our most reliable visitors. You're always there from the moment I start to the moment that you have to leave. Thank you for being there. Really appreciate it. So I also probably will soon stop because it's already 10:30 tomorrow. I wake up again at 5, so I should probably stop. That's probably also one of the reasons that I'm not feeling too great lately. I haven't had enough sleep. I couldn't sleep for basically all week because of being so damn tired. Um, my kids have problems and stuff like that. So basically, it means sleeping is hard. And once I get a little stress, also, then it's getting harder and harder for me to actually uh, get to sleeping. Um, I can be dead tired and not be able to sleep. I don't know if you guys know that feeling, but for me, that is something I really can have. Can be incredibly tired and not be able to sleep. It's hard to explain to anyone. My wife doesn't even get it. She's like, "Yeah, let's go to bed earlier." And then I wake up in the middle of the night. It doesn't help. It doesn't work that way for me. I'm built different, I guess. So if I sleep any earlier, it won't do any difference. So I just saved it because I think we made nice progress. We already have a little bit more. I have the openings for these portals that the bikes go through underneath the Rijksmuseum, and I know just Simi knows exactly what I mean because those are four archways that go through. Two are higher, two are a little lower. Two are very close to each other. One is a little bit further apart. I think I got the base for that done, and now other details will come. And I feel kind of confident that I will be able to work on this again a little bit. I hope this week I will have some time. Then maybe next time you guys can see that I actually got much more progress on this building because this building is going to be one of the centerpieces of the first level for sure because it's very, very big and very prominent and very recognizable Amsterdam for anyone who sees this. So if you see this building in the game, and you know Amsterdam, you will recognize this. That's my aim. So I sleep only a few hours a day too. Yeah, my average for last week was about 3 hours, and that is too low. Definitely too low. And on that 3 hours, then I have like 50 minutes of REM sleep. That is not good enough. Shouldn't be good enough for anyone, I guess. Depends on how you're built, I guess. Not everybody is the same, so I cannot talk for anyone else. Okay, so I've been streaming for almost 2.5 hours, or over 2.5 hours actually, and I'm gonna switch to somebody else. So please be nice and stick around until we're there. I'm sure people also would like it if you just go with me and see their game, even if you do, or what they're building on, even if it's just for a bit, it doesn't matter. Um, I think they'll appreciate it. So I think I found the one that I want to rate. He just started his Kickstarter. I think we went there last week also, but I'm going to do it again today. So I want to say thank you for being there today, and I'm going to rate out to Practical NPC. And to be honest, he does things in Godot, which is not something that I do a lot, but that doesn't matter. So please stick around, wait, and just say hi at least to our big friend, Practical NPC, who has his Kickstarter campaign. He has a very nice precision platformer game that he's been building. So show him some love, be nice to him, and maybe follow and say something to him. So I hope you guys will join me again next week. Next week we will have our indie appreciation stream. I have two very interesting games that I want to play that week. I would love it if you guys will join, and if you don't want to see that, then join me at least the week after, because the week after I will be going live again with my own game. So thank you everybody for joining. I'm starting the raid now, and I really hope that you guys will come again next time. Thank you so much. It was a great stream today. You really helped me. There we go. Bye.